Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rapid Fills here, and today I'm bringing you another video. As we talked about in the room, the BTTX trade and how it was a long setup. And I'll explain to you my thought process of how I think this is a breakout. That being said, this is not a financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. And that being said, let's jump in the video. There is a link discount below for scanning platform TC2000 that I use. If you want to use it, you can use the link below. Hit the like, subscribe, share with your friends, and let's get it. Let's bring my handy dandy whiteboard. I hope you guys can see this. First things first, I really like to start with how does a trend work? And the trend works, in my opinion, in waves, right? Like that. And most of my trading methods is always based on this analogy. Sometimes the breakout is strong. It doesn't really come back when we test the breakout zone. Sometimes it's a little strong, doesn't quite touch it, but it comes close by it. Sometimes it's a little weak and it actually dips under, and sometimes you get that one tick that touches and it just bounces off of, right? So there is variations to it, but most of the time I'm thinking that as long as it's holding trend, this thing's gonna continue going up until, like I explained in other videos, either a double top, a fake breakout, or a lower high happens and it breaks that trend and it breaks that support. Now support becomes resistance, resistance becomes support. I know you guys probably tired of hearing that already. So that being said, let's go to the charts. BTTX, here we go. This is BTTX today. You're probably seeing it on the 6th, but this is what it looks like. So with BTTX, there is actually two things happening with the stock. Okay, one of them is actually. All right, one of them is this is a green candle with a lot of volume. So the stock been going down, 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 down on super low volume. Now this is the first day that brings in volume and the stock gaps up and even ramps even higher, right? So this does, a lot of people are looking at it and saying, okay, you know what? This is a short. I'm gonna short the stock. This is gonna come back and it goes all the way back to where it came from, right? Yesterday it was under $1. Today it closed over 2. That's a huge move, right? So the next day it gaps down, a lot of shorts pile in, and then this thing squeezes everybody out, right? It just goes all the way up. And then the third day, it's a green day too. Now we get into the idea that if the stock is low float and you short and you're swinging it short, swing trading the stock short, if your broker does not have shorts or enough longs for you to borrow the shares from, because if you shorten the stock, you're borrowing the shares to sell them in the market, the broker will close you down. So this is the day that you shorted. If, for example, this is somebody shorted 1 million shares right there, right? And the broker is looking for shares here and is looking for shares here, and he forced that cover, or he forces that cover and he covers you out, and he covers him in, and what it does is squeezes the stock all the way up like we saw today. In my opinion, I think this squeeze has to deal with the fact that this got volume from nowhere, a lot of shorts piled in, not enough shorts in the market for all the short sellers to be in the stock. So brokers started covering their shorts and it created the squeeze. Could be just my theory, but this is something that happens in the markets as well. Because if you're short selling the stock, the broker had to have the shorts within 3 days. Otherwise, it will close you because you can't sell shares that they don't exist. And you can see the volume. The volume shows huge 125, what it seems like 122, which is almost double the first day when it got the highest volume. Anyways, so that being said, what happened is we have this zone right here where this day didn't reach it. This is it couldn't close above it, and this day couldn't close above it, right? But everybody is expecting this zone. If it breaks, this thing is gonna skyrocket. What happens is, for a reason or another, the stock came back up, gapped up, opened, turned around, and went up, right? So now let's get that trend analogy, right? So the stock is up, up, and now it opened up and it came back, retested that zone, and it took off. Does that make sense now? So now if we go and look at 50-minute chart, actually, let's go to the 30-minute. That'll make it better visual. All right, let's go. So here is the 30-minute chart. Here's that previous spot in the chart, and you can see here it couldn't go above it, couldn't close above it, couldn't close above it, and then all of a sudden we closed above it, and then we slammed down, and then the next day, which is this morning, came down, retested, and started getting bought back up. So what happens is it created the flag, right? Now we have that breakout going on in the stock. So what it looks like is it broke out, came down, retested, and now we're above it. So it came down to that high, retested that high, and it just took off. So this is why I thought this was a long, and this is where I tried to get it long in the stock. It's just I can't hold the stock. I can't pull the trigger on a long, and it's just my psychology that this is not a good company, in my opinion. If it's a good company, they'll probably have a lot more cash, and it's not going to be priced at $3 with that much flow. And you can see this is a really downtrending company from 29, and maybe this is just dilution, and they've been diluting the stock. But again, I can't pull the trigger on a long setup, but this is the thesis behind it and why I think the stock was a long. One, we had the huge volume and the stock just kept ripping. Two, we had 3 green days where the shorts had no chance to actually cover their position lower, and it was putting higher lows every day. And then 3, we have that breakout looking setup on the daily. And then 4, we had that flag on a higher time frame. And then 5, it was the gap up, came down, retested, and then moved higher. If you go to 5-minute, you can see the pullback, and this is what an A+ setup long looks like. Gaps up, pulls back, and then it comes back up. And then it was just flagging and going higher and higher until it broke trend at the end of the day, right here. And the guys in the room were actually killing it. We're shorting here. I never got the pop. I wanted the pop towards 3 right here, as I showed in the room, but I never really got that pop towards the 3 mark and being able to capitalize on this. Now this looks like we broke trend. So maybe this is the first red day, and tomorrow is a continuation to this. Something similar to this, it was probably like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. Let's see. Let's go to 20 day 15. That would be this day right here. Let me clean it up for a minute. All right, here we go. So this day it came down again. Look at that. Pulled back, retested, and then it went up to the upside, right? This is again looks like a breakout. This is Vero, by the way, and you can see this is the breakout, came down, and then this day it gapped up, came down, retested the prior close, the prior high, and then it pulled all the way up until it broke trend. When it broke trend, which is here, this is the next day. It gapped down, popped, and then sold off all day, right? So if we go to the daily, this is how it looks like, and tell me if it looks similar. We have one day that attract a lot of volume, pullback day. This day squeezed everybody, right? The next morning it gapped up and came down, retested, moved all the way up, and then it broke trend and it came down. This is the next day, which is a red day, after it's under that breakout zone, and it comes down. So anyways, I'm not saying this is tomorrow's gonna be a red day on BTTX, but in my opinion it should be a red day on BTTX as a first red day. I think we get the pullback tomorrow. Not sure how much it will. This market been really weird. We've been talking about it. Stuff doesn't fade as much. Things pop out of nowhere, and market, the SPY been up and down, really not normal movement. As yesterday we moved so much, so sharply up that everybody thought today is going to be a continuation. We ended up gapping down and selling all the way down. That is weird action right there. Something like that. That's not normal. So, anyways, sizing down, only picking the A plus setups, trying to nail that entry, nail that exit, don't overstay. These are the things that I remind myself with every morning. And if there is a day with no trade, it's better than FOMO on a trade and lose money, right? So that being said, stay safe, guys, and to the next one. Peace.